pro traders or the market wizards, the greats, they speak differently. They don't get too emotional when they're talking about the market. They're fully come to terms with, like, they fully come to acceptance. They'll take responsibility for all the actions. They don't point fingers, and these are some of the, just a small amount of the traits. You're gonna just notice that, and over time, hopefully that's something, what Reed was saying earlier with these traders. What's the difference between me and that person? Tonight's Trading Topic Tuesday, pretty awesome topic today. We're going to be talking about how people do it, how people go through trading and become successful. It's not all about buying the very low, the very beginning of Tesla, and then you hold on to it, or Apple or Amazon, and you hold on to it, and you become wealthy. It doesn't always start out like that. We don't always see the angel round of early investing on these big companies, these Facebooks and whatnot. But there's a lot of people who still become successful despite all of that, despite not being in the in crowd. Tonight's topic, we're going to be talking about traits of successful trading. And, it all starts with putting ourselves into the best position to be successful. And we do that by a lot of different things. And a lot of it is, this is going to be used outside of trading. The traits that we're going to be sharing today can be put forward to business, to life, to whatever, because these are key things. The main thing, right? Like, to start off, we're going to be having to put the mirror in front of us and look at it, right? What do we want to accomplish? Keep your eyes on the prize. Like, what is the thing that we want to do? And as traders, we want to be able to make profit, right? By having good trading, right? How do we do that? We don't just roll the dice. We develop all the best practices and implement them daily in and out, and that'll eventually allow us to grow our account, get to a certain point. So starting, we're at point A. Where's your point B? Do I want to be a full-time trader? Do I want to be a hedge fund manager? Do I want to be just trading a small account? Do I want to manage people's money? Those are all different things. If I just want to understand trading, if I was to come in clean slate without knowing anything, and my goal was to, let me get a handle on this trading thing. What the heck is it? I know people can make money, and that's where I would start. That would be my point B. What is the trading? Let me know what I need to know and start from there. So what kind of goals from there? Like, this is speaking from my journey. It started with a video. Then first it started with an article I read online. Then it started with a video. And then from there, it started with a course. It started with getting into community. Then it started with more books, podcasts, listening to that. Then eventually met Reed. And, that added a better dynamic to my journey, because we get to have that peer-to-peer interaction, because he's on his journey, I'm on my journey. And accountability, right?
Helps.
That just meshed into that. So I started at point A. Point B was like, let me understand this trading game. Let me figure that out. I know there's a lot of money to be made. And yes, there are times where I'm just blinded by, what? Oh, dude, if I make this much, if I'm able to make 5% every month for the rest of my life, dude, I could be doing this. I'm going to do that. But that clouds my judgment. So focusing on the long game. For those, if you guys are watching this replay, take notes. Focus on the long game. We always implement or stress that, because we're not looking at the next 5 trades. We're looking at the next 5,000 trades. Right? How do we come out better in those 5,000 trades. If we go just focus on the next 5 trades, we go bust. There will be no 5,000 trades. We're out of the game. You can't be successful if you're out of the game. And so constant learning, constant putting yourselves just little by little, like baby steps, you know? And that's kind of a good starting trait to have. Just keep moving forward, you know, keep showing up to that thing, keep showing up to that next chapter. Be like, dude, I hate reading, right? If you just show up to the next chapter, you're gonna find that next thing that's gonna be like, you know what? That's what I'm doing wrong in my trading. Let me go fix that. Let me implement that, and let me go do that, right? And when for me in my journey, when I'm got tunnel vision, I'm staring at the screens, doing the work, I start losing focus. And so at that point, right, I get overwhelmed. I start losing my drive. I start losing my direction on, like, okay, am I still heading towards point B? And that's where you got to pump the brakes, right? Do 3 things. You stop, you notice where you're at, and then you represent yourself. These simple things, right? And so this is like going on into the journey. You're starting from point A, you're starting to do the work now, you're getting some books in, you're getting some reading material in, you're learning, right? Then people get lost in that. And so what I'm saying is, like, pause, notice, represence. Like if you're driving, if I'm trying to get to Reed's house, I go take the wrong turn. Am I just gonna keep going? I gotta pause. Where I stay? Reed stay, but his house is at the coconut tree over there. Okay, yeah. I'm way far of that. You know, let me turn around and let me go. So, you know, so that's kind of a good thing to always keep at the back of your mind, so that you can continue to pour into yourself. You can continue to have the right mindset, because this isn't easy. If it was easy, everyone would be doing it, right? And if it was easy, everyone would be rich. If it was easy, there would probably be no market, because the market's too easy. But no, this is a game we're playing. We're playing against, just to like presence ourselves where we fit on this global market. Bright minds, quantum doctors and professors, coders, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, big banks, Tesla, Elon, his people. Probably robots are trading in this market. Who knows, man? Or AI, algorithms. And here comes some guys from Hawaii thinking we can go and take some money.
Disruptors.
Right? Disruptors. But we can, because retail traders like ourselves, individual traders, we do have perks with just trading for ourselves. We aren't required to always report things. We don't have to necessarily always be in positions compared to like big hedge funds and banks. They always have to have positions in the market. They can't just go full cash, I believe. There's a lot of requirements. They get audited, blah, blah, blah. Their list goes on. They have to, and then the next thing, they have to report to their investors, you know, how their money is doing. So if you're on a losing streak, you gotta have that conversation. If we're on a losing streak, I'm like,
It's just yourself. You just gotta report to yourself.
yeah.
And yeah, as retail traders, we're in and out of the markets. We have that fluidity.
Yeah, we can go in and out of the markets, right? But or what we're doing here at the Hawaii Trading Academy, we're providing that nice intimate community where we can all share what's going on. You know. Oh, I just saw the question. 5,000 trades in a, you want to go 5,000 trades over the next few years? I mean, We don't want to do 5,000 trades in a week. I don't think anyone
Yeah,
reaches that
saw
much.
that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean that's usually algo trading if it is like 5,000 trades or thousands of trades in a
scalpers,
month. Algo trading intraday like 5 minute, 10, 15 minute traders, intradays, scalping.
scalpers.
I think they could reach that level. But at that point, are they actually journaling, you know, every single trade? I would
I think
doubt
they
it,
are. I mean,
but
if you have a big organization, you got departments, you got your
that's true. Oh yeah, in
journal
that
department.
sense. Yeah, if it's robots, and at that point you're just looking at data, you're like, what was the robot thinking at this time? You
Right.
can't really get in the head of a robot.
Or you're gonna have a talk with your coders, yeah. But
Yeah.
like early on, Reed, in your journey, right? How did you start to develop that success mindset?
Oh, yeah. So I didn't like reading because I got made fun of because my name is Reed. And so I was like, I hate reading. And then the community that I was in, it started producing successful traders, at least through their testimonies. And I was asking, like, what makes the difference between them and I? And it's, well, they read books. And so I began to read, not because I wanted to read, but because I love trading. I wanted to get better at trading. So I started to dive in to reading that way. And that was like in 2015. And I didn't actually start with trading books. I started with psychology books and like The Power of Habit by Tim Ferriss, books like that. I think the very first trading book I ever bought was Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas. And that kind of put the perspective. He talked more about the mind than trading. And that was a big step in the right direction for myself. And then from there it was just, when would have a 17 straight losses in a row back in 2018, I looked at YouTube videos. I watched YouTube videos like successful trading. What is it called? Like collages, like or a life in the trader. And like it'd be just YouTubers sharing like, okay, I wake up, I work out, I trade, and then I go on with my day. And so that was like motivating for myself, and then just small things like that just kept me going through, man.
No, that's good. I mean, that I think you um, kind of like thought about the right question. You know, what is the difference between those successful traders and me? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's such a good point, and kind of bringing it back to like, okay, here's where I stand. Right? If I'm trying to learn a sport, if I'm trying to learn basketball, here's where Michael Jordan stands, dude. What was he doing? He was in the gym 7 days a week, blah blah blah, doing all that, perfecting his shoot.
Yeah,
And
I wanted to say one more thing too. Is like it's a introspection, right? Like I I asked that question, but it was because I was looking external. I was looking at them. I was looking at their success. I was looking at everyone else on the greatness that they're doing, and I want to be like that. But really, if I just stopped right there and then looked within and like asked myself, okay, why did you read make that trade? I wasn't doing that. I was like, okay, I lost that trade, on to the next. I didn't reevaluate. I didn't ask myself the harder questions, which is like, what was going through your mind at this time? Why did you place this trade here and not there? Why did you get out so fast? So that was still a learning stage.
oh yeah, introspective. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Um, and I think over time we're gonna be able to develop that skill, that perspective, that view on ourselves. Like you said, when I lost trades, I'm like, oh, dude, the market's out to get me. Oh, I started making excuses. Oh, if only I got, but because my computer was acting up, which is why I hit the order. Blah blah blah.
Making the excuses. Yeah.
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 and
We've all been there.
the excuses as I became I kept telling myself those excuses. And then when I started to reflect and journal and look at my stats, I couldn't be in denial anymore. I had to stop. I had to accept it. And at that point, when you come to acceptance to your how what you've been doing, how you make your decisions, what your performance, where you are in your journey, if you start to accept it, that for me was the turning point in taking this more seriously and really diving in deeper, getting down into that layer, getting down to the root of why my trading has been the way I've been trading, whether it be profitable or not. I would have some winning trades. Maybe that was luck. I don't know. Maybe that's when I actually paid attention and listened to my rules and followed everything to the T. You know, your results reflect the work that you actually put in and the decisions you make. Right? You want to be there as a trader, but if you aren't putting in the work, if you're barely doing the chart analysis, if you're barely learning, you're barely um, trying to achieve more, then you get on the game in the game time, you won't really go anywhere. And there's a lot to go back. So like you gotta go back to the drawing board. Like I said, when I finally came to acceptance of all the excuses and be like, this thing isn't working. I had to come to terms with my ego, my pride, and I had to really, okay, you know what, Glenn, you're screwing up. You're losing tons of money. You can't afford to lose this money. Yes, beat myself up, but at the same time, you cannot stay there. You have to grow beyond that. So you got to go back to the drawing board of how you learn. And for me, how I learned was the audiobooks, the videos, the interaction with other traders, right? Getting into conversations with the right people. Podcasts, dude. Oh, that has been a game changer. And so when you start getting to a subject that's still new, that is a little thing to consider. If you're overwhelmed at the topic of trading forex, trading futures, you gotta start somewhere. So at least start with the things you like, whether that be video, whether that be books and whatnot. And then you gotta, as you learn, it starts to take away the mental. It starts to start removing barriers in your mind because a lot of it's right here. Everything actually, right? Everything's right here.
Absolutely.
The difference between, you know, trading Glenn now and the trader 5-10 years from now, I'll probably just look older, hopefully skinnier, but my brain should my mindset, my barrier should be like way different, you know? And so the learning just fuels your journey to get to point B, you start removing those blocks, those limits, the unsureness, the fearfulness, to start stepping into the future, and you're gonna the only thing that's gonna allow you to fail is if you give up. Right? Persistence, dude. There's many times. Was there a time you wanted to give up, Reed, in
Oh
trading?
yeah, a lot. Absolutely.
Was
Especially when like you're only losing and like you're like I know I want to do this. I see the potential there. I see freedom. We all come in looking at the money aspect, but in reality it's the mental aspect like you said. But I wanted to kind of like rewind a little bit and how reading and educating and just learning from other traders like actual hedge funds, market wizards, they all dealt and or went through and still go through the exact same things that we retail traders go through on a daily basis. They just know how to subdue those emotions. They know how to accept it like, "Oh, I feel this way." But I am aware of that, and they tone it back down. And I think just that was so comforting to read and hear that, wow, these people who have millions and millions of dollars literally have the same days that I do. They wanted to give up. And so I think and like people who blew hedge funds now, they're like they didn't give up, but at that time after they lost it all, they're like, wow, maybe this isn't for me. And we're like, what, we only lost a few $1,000s here and there, over time. That's nothing compared to them losing millions, their homes, bankruptcy. Like, thank God, like, we've never gone through all that, but they've risen that. They didn't quit. And I think that's just, there's so many times, yeah, that I felt like quitting, and it's just showing up the following day. You may feel like it right now, this moment. I think a key point is just to, uh, what like really differentiates successful traders. They know when to get up, walk away, and take a breather instead of like just rapidly firing. Okay, I lost that one. Let me get back in the market. I lost that one. Let me get back in the market. And it's just this, it's almost a gambling instinct that, you're trading on tilt with emotions. So that's just, yeah. How about you, man? You ever felt like giving up?
Yeah, I remember 1 August was like I think 1 month in August I traded so bad I almost blew the whole account.
Wow.
And it was sickening for me.
Wait, so a quick question. Have you ever blown an account though?
Yeah, many times.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
that one, that one was almost like the dagger. Like that was essentially it. Where I did blow it because I wasn't able to trade the next day because I couldn't meet margin.
Mm.
And so I didn't, even though I didn't go to zero, I went to that point where I'm like, yo, I can't even hold these trades. Uh, yeah, I'm done.
Dude, yeah, that reminds me. I had a talk with the wife one time. This was years ago, maybe 5, 6 years ago. And I wasn't making money. And so she had the question, she's like, when are you actually going to start making money? When can you start paying bills? Maybe trading's not for you. And bro, that was like a sword, samurai sword to the heart. I was like, I love this. Like, I don't care how long this takes me. I'm going to keep going until I succeed. And that's another point as traders is it's a solo journey. We could have each other, and that's what keeps us strong, and that's that glue to keep us going. But late at night, 2 in the morning, sometimes you're not going to have anyone to talk to except yourself and your thoughts. And that's when that discipline, that psychology is so important, to just do the right thing, stay disciplined, don't let the emotions or the thoughts take control of your actions. So I mean, like, that's all I'll say about
That's
that.
awesome.
Never stop, never give up, man.
Yeah, like talk getting the spouse on the same page is a different topic. We'll definitely
Oh,
do that.
yeah.
But
Yeah, definitely.
um
Definitely.
going back to what you were saying is staying disciplined and continue showing up the next day. It kind of reminds me of like how I used to deal with losing streaks back in the day. When I was starting out, the way I dealt with losing streaks was I thought I could just throw more money at the market because it owes me, and eventually I'll strike a win, you know. And that was the wrong thing to do because you're just throwing your money away essentially. At that point, they call it revenge trading, trading on tilt. Now, when I hit a losing streak, I'll look at, okay, how's my risk management? How much was my risk within my limits at the time? Yes. Okay. What was the market doing? Oh, it had a false breakout. Okay. And then, is there another opportunity? No. Okay. I kind of just uh, funneled everything down, all my emotions into those three questions essentially, and that keeps me in check
Can you
because
repeat those questions? That's really key, man. That's really helpful.
you
I want to type it out, man. That's
pull that
good.
out of my ass, bro. Okay.
What was it? What was it?
So after a losing a string of losses, I'll look at the um I'll look at the trades, and then I'll be like, okay, was my risk at the time within my current limits? Right? Was I comfortable with that risk? Was I over leveraging it, or, you know what I mean? Then if it was within my risk limits, okay, good. Then what was the market conditions? Was it in
That's
a
the second question.
yeah? That was the
Is
second
like, what
question.
is the market?
Yeah.
What is? That's a good one, man.
What is the market condition? What is the market doing right now, right? Then it tells me, okay, if my strategy is to find trends, the market was with false breakout or was just moving sideways, then there's no trends for me to be in. Okay, good. So that's not, then I will just answer that. Yeah, the market conditions is not for my strategy right now. And then the third one, I'll browse the market. Hey, is there another good? Is there another opportunity presenting itself right now? You know, and that is like my transition from, okay, I got lost. I have these string of losses. Those string of losses are within my statistics because I did the back testing. I have an expectation of my strategy, right? If those fit in that window, then I transition to, okay, we'll leave it there. What am I looking for now? Is there something? You know. After there's nothing, okay. Then, you know,
Fun.
enjoy the weekend.
Yeah. Or the rest of the day. Yeah.
That's it.
I
You
want to
can't
touch
force
up
it.
like risk management is so important. I think something that keeps a lot of traders up, especially like myself, if in the beginning when I was over risking, I couldn't help but look at my phone or the charts because I needed to see what was happening with that position that I was in. And that comes down to I was risking too much, and I mean there's no way around it. Like if you know that okay, if this trade turns around and I completely lose it, oh, it's only 1% of my account. That's it. I have 99 more times before I blow my account.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, if you're over risking, could only be 10 more times. So, I mean, I like that. Risk management is just so important. If my
Mm-hmm.
risk is okay, then I shouldn't have to worry what the outcome is.
Right, right. Because you have your stops in, and you're not over trading. I've done the over trade. I mean the over leveraging, dude. It wasn't good. It was
Yeah.
few. Bruh, skip the.
Especially
This
when
is
you're
the best
starting off.
hack. This is the best hack. You skip Disneyland, Disney World, Epcot, all those roller coaster rides. You want a roller coaster ride? Go over leverage. And
Same
watch,
emotion, same
sit,
emotion.
sit and watch that sucker during volatile times. Okay, then go trade FOMC, go trade whatever the election. Then
Ooh,
you will
I have
know
a story about the election.
the
So,
election.
I over leveraged. I was like, this trade will make my year. Watch. I was being ego, boastful. My friend was just starting to get into forex, and I like it was that election night. Like the results were gonna come on or come in and stuff, right? And so and this is Trump's election, and I went in the garage and I was on the phone with him, like, bro, I'm up like $1,000 right now. And at the time, it was a lot for me. And I was like, yeah, blah blah blah, and then ended up losing like half my account just because I didn't set stop losses. I didn't, I was just over risking, and that's just ego. That's the trading emotions, trying to prove other people right or that you could do it. Like that's just trading with ego is a no no. Trading over risking is a no no.
It's funny how like you remember that you told yourself that, watch, this is the trade that's gonna make me tons of money.
Yeah, exactly, right? So confident.
Yeah, exactly.
Confidently wrong.
Risk management over gambling, over all that, right?
Yeah.
And we kind of going back to like having a self reflection, right? We get into the market anticipating of, for various reasons. A lot of people, like, mainly your focus is to go make more money, but what you do with that money is what people want too. So for me particularly, it's freedom, right? Freedom to do what I want, where I want, when I want, right? um but as we get older, our minds, we're creatures of habits, right? We're wired. Our brain has evolved over the years from caveman times. We're always seeking safety, shelter, food, water, right? That's like our primal instincts. And when we're trading in the markets, those things, like in the market, you're seeing the numbers move, your account is going down, blah blah blah. Those primal instincts could get triggered where we're like, you know what? Even though you're following your rules, your trading plan up to that time, something kicks in and you're like, oh, I gotta get out. This is too much. I gotta get out. You know, I'm gonna lose everything, right? And then the market kind of starts going away from you, and then it like after you get out, it shoots all up, and then you beat yourself up. You're like, what the, bruh? I was in the trade. I would
I
have
should
made
have,
so
would have.
much
Look how much I
money
would have been up.
because as we get older, safety becomes like a that thing that we're always seeking, right? We wanna stay in um, that safety mode. You know, keeping safe is keeping you small, and so in that note, it's going to survival mode. If we're in survival mode when we're trading, that can kind of conflict with the goals we're trying to achieve, when the things we're trying to achieve, because a lot of the times when we're trading, we're going against human nature, and that's something to really just roll back, reflect on, let it sit, let it marinate, because that one's gonna be carried on going forward. Okay, you know, our brains are wired. And there's many books on this starting to come out, like um, NLP, right? You got the neuralistic um,
NLP,
NL, yeah,
neuro neuro linguistic programming.
programming, right? So you got all that because a lot of scientists they're kind of divvying up our brain in subconscious and conscious side and the way we make decisions. That's kind of where I'm getting at. The way we make decisions, right? Physically, we're wired to a certain degree. Knowing, understanding that is gonna be that little bump that helps you in your trading career. And you'll see this when you listen to podcasts or videos. Pro traders or the market wizards, the greats, they speak differently. They don't get too emotional when they're talking about the markets, right? They're fully come to terms with, like, they fully come to acceptance. They'll take responsibility for all the actions. They don't point fingers, you know. And these are some of the just a small amount of the traits. You're gonna just notice that, and over time, you know, hopefully that's something. What Reed was saying earlier with these traders. What's the difference between me and that person? And those are though right there. Kind of just what I was saying, right? And that kind of just sums up like what we're trying to bring up tonight on the traits of being a successful trader. Of course, there's way more to this. We're just scratching the surface, giving a little summarizing uh, little talk here. But you know, on that, you got anything to add to that?
No, yeah, like all I could think about is psychology and mindset. That's really when it comes down to what Glenn and I are trying to teach here is like, yeah, you could have an appropriate plan and risk management, even ideas, but it's the mindset that'll help you stick to those plans, that will help you stick to those edges. And I think that's really what this whole webinar is about, is like we got to get our mind right, our psychology right, if we really do want to be successful like these traders. And again, like we talked about it, books or just other resource learning material, 9 times out of 10 they're going to talk about the mindset aspect of trading. And if it's a book that doesn't mention that's trading and it doesn't mention the psychology of trading, then I would not recommend reading it. Just move on to the next uh, resource,
Mm-hmm.
because that's where you want to focus most of your energy. Is like, okay, did I think this way? Okay, how do I begin to neuro linguistic program? How do I begin to start shifting my neural pathways to start thinking maybe more positive or looking at the market in a whole different way than what I am now. There's been a couple of times where, like Glenn mentioned, going back to the drawing board. I thought I had to keep revamping my plan, going back to my plan, going back to my plan. But really, it's just no, your plan works, your edge works. It's just when you do certain actions, there is an emotion or a thought that went behind that action. And if you could trace that action to a thought, then
Mm.
that's another win. So I mean, more on that later, but that's just this to sum it up. It's psychology and mindset.
Mindset. Boom. Big deal. As you were just talking about it, you kind of reminded me. Well, I think great athletes. So like we're talking about great traders and whatnot, right? The investors. But I feel like even the great athletes in our day have so much similarities, Or you just take these top performers in business or sports, like Kobe Bryant, right? You got the Mamba mentality.
Yeah.
You got the whole
Oh
thing
yeah.
named after him. Then you got Tiger Woods. He's all about his mental game, getting in the zone, get focused. Jordan, right? Oh, it goes on. It goes on, and a lot of it has to do very very similar with trading as well. All that time preparing your charts, looking over your journal, um, preparing your plan. Okay, if listing out the scenarios, some guys go as far as this. They list out the scenarios. Okay, I know FOMC is tomorrow. I'm anticipating the market to move this. Why? Because da. Okay, if it doesn't go there, then I'm anticipating to go here. Blah blah blah. And there's traders out there. They will run scenarios like that, and just when you're mentally prepared for that, that already sets you up for the next. I mean, to take advantage, to respond, not react.
Ooh,
You're
that's a good one.
responding,
Respond, not react. And like
respond
when
to what the market is telling you instead of freaking out because the market's dumping 3,000 points, right? You're reacting, which a lot of people do. Social media is just a big freaking microphone. You have to respond. And if you aren't responding because you're not probably prepared, you're not ready, you're not focused, you're distracted, you don't know what you're doing. So if you were to just write that, yeah, good thing you wrote that down in the chat. Respond or react.
it and that's such a heavy thing that to because I remember, man, like when I lost or was going through losing, I didn't want to look at my losses. I didn't want to say nothing's wrong with me. It's the market, right? Kind of like what we were saying in the beginning. But it's like, okay, what did I do wrong, or why am I wrong, or if I am wrong, is it's okay. You don't have to place a trade out of spite or just out of because you're wrong and you want to be right. Like that's just like ego, man. Ego is so huge too.
uh,
And
funny side
yeah,
note too, like
yeah,
you're
yeah.
kind of touching on like how your spouse is asking you like, are you even gonna, is it even for you, when used to have those or like when I used to like first start telling my wife how my trading has been, having those conversations, it wasn't comfortable, like
Wasn't easy. Yeah,
it
it's
wasn't
not
easy.
easy.
But that little thing was that nudge to be like, you know what? Yeah, I gotta stop messing around because that's me. My personality. Sometimes I just go for it. I wing it, dive in, loose goose, just throw the dice. Sometimes, okay. But I've learned from that, you know, and because I had to have those conversations, it did bring me back to like, you know what? Okay, I don't want to have that conversation again. Let me go back to the drawing board, get disciplined, get prepared, do better,
See, that's a
do my
very
best.
humble approach. That's a great humble approach. It's so easy to fight back and be like, what? You don't know how hard trading is. Like, it's so easy to go that route, but you're like, okay, yeah, you know what? I need to step up. Like that's very humble of you. That's where that ego, you know, just comes into play. Some of us have more ego than others, and I gotta say, like, you definitely had a lot less ego than I did for sure.
My ego was aimed towards the market, bruh.
There you go.
I
That's
was like,
yeah.
you owe
How we
me,
direct it,
market.
right?
You owe me.
Yeah.
Talking to the screen, I'm like, bruh, all right, I'm going to take this trade. You're just going to follow what I do, all right?
Oh, so you telling the market what to do
At
now?
the time, bro.
Damn, next level, bro.
At the time, man. At the time. I mean, if you guys want to chime in, Uncle or Andrew, if you guys want to chime in, what sat with you? What resonates? Something that
Yeah,
connects.
questions or
Whatever
like
we
yeah,
talked about
what are
tonight.
you guys dealing with now? If you want to share, sometimes
Mm.
that's hard to share. I understand. It's all
Oh
good.
yeah.
It's part of the journey. I want like yeah, while you guys think of questions or anything to ask, like one thing is, you. It's like yeah, you versus you. You're talking to yourself, and you're like, oh man, I kind of just lost my train of thought here. But essentially, it's just yeah, it's you versus you in the markets.
Mm. Yeah. The market
It'll
is
come back
out
to
to
me.
get you. That is that is the truth. And because I thought the market was just like, yo, there's this guy named Glenn. We're going after him. We're gonna take everything we got. He got. But the market
I
don't care.
Yeah, like things like getting taken out by 1 pip and the market reversing in the direction you had originally, or like yeah, the stop getting hit by 1 pip. Like it can be very frustrating, but it happens. It happens to the best of us. It happens to the best setups. It could be the A+ setup, and it happens. And that sometimes that's just hard to accept as well.
That
But
was that particular thing right there. That scenario you're talking about, getting stopped out by a few 1 pip, dude. Oh, that was like that used to crawl under my skin, man. I would not let
yeah,
go of that, dude.
yeah, because you think like, yo, my broker knew, my broker did this, my broker took me out. Like it's always someone else or something else. It's not you. And again, comes back to the ego. It comes back to acknowledging that you are the one that's in charge of your account. Only
I
you.
I used to like find something to blame, so I would not. I held on to that, right? And when I got stopped out, then I'll go like back test. I'm like, okay, if I just put this one more tick down, and then I'll be good. And then that happens again. Damn it!
Oh, like you. So like you're like almost trying to be constructive here. Like, okay, I got taken out by 1 pip, but if I maybe adjusted my stop loss to add 2 more pips, I wouldn't be get taken out. Is that what you're saying? Like
Yeah,
you felt, yeah, you like it's not like, oh, it's not that I was wrong. It's just that I gotta adjust my plan, and now then I'll be right.
that in a way, but there's a certain point where it still bothered me when you know um, I guess what I'm trying to say is I couldn't accept what the market was doing. I didn't come to terms with that. Like
Uh,
I was thinking that, yeah, like I was in denial almost, you know,
yeah,
and it maybe it was for me. I guess for me too, it was at a point where I had to the trading strategy or trading approach I was using didn't fully fit me.
yeah.
Yeah. And so
I
like
mean,
that
this is
that
a really great topic that we could get into later of like
oh yeah.
how our approaches have changed over time. I mean, that's probably one whole discussion on its own.
Hmm.
I mean, mine compared to yours, it's changed quite a lot, you know. Um, but Uncle says this. I believe it's all about discipline, studying, and reading. Yeah, absolutely. And that's where we Gunn and I still read to this day. We still are sharing with the community, Mighty Networks, of what books to read, thing articles. Glenn and I are sharing through text messages like, yo, I just found out this new book, or books that are on sale.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, yeah, that's a great point. It's like, and that reading and that studying will help you identify things in your trading, in yourself. Like that's really how I learned so much about trading. is through books. Like the mentorship and the courses I purchased, that helped me to a degree,
Yeah.
but it definitely reading
Yeah.
multiple books is what's changed the game for me and helped so much.
And another thing to consider while reading as well, like reading does give you does help a lot. But if you're reading the wrong things, because there's a lot of noise out there.
That's true, yeah. So how would you know, Glenn? Like what would be your bar of like, okay, this is a good thing that you should read and this is something you should stay away from? Any
Trust and verify,
tips? Mm.
like
Like
it.
reputable authors, like did they actually have a hedge fund, or like maybe not a guru on Instagram who wrote a 5-minute manual,
Yeah,
that's been around for
that
only a couple of years.
or like those guys who did have hedge funds, but they end up turning to be criminals, laundering money.
Ponzi scheme.
Ponzi scheme. So I mean, those are things to take into consideration. Yes, there's a lot of noise out there, a lot of gurus, and here's the next best thing. Here's the holy grail, and you're gonna notice, like you were saying, you're asking how do I differ differentiate between actually good material and bad material. Yes, you want to validate the person who wrote it, who made it, and then you want to look into like what kind of language they're using. If I came across an article, this is a 95% winning rate. This is the secret here. Download this ebook, right? No, it ain't right. It's
Even if
not
it's
true.
free. Even if it's free.
Even if it's free, run away, man, run away. Because simply, if you just know the market, if you understand what a lot of people, successful traders view on the market, like you cannot have, there's no holy grail. You cannot be right 100% of the time.
That, and there, as many as there are humans, there are strategies. That's in my opinion. I'm pretty sure that's not proven, but I mean, there is just because everyone is so different that things are gonna be you're gonna be attracted to certain things that the market has, like whether it's that's indicators or colors, the way that you look at the market. So I mean, that's something to take into consideration, that there are millions of strategies, and guess what, they probably all work. They
Yep.
probably do, and they all have an edge. It's just what edge do you identify with, that you want to trade.
Yep. There's a
And
million
again,
ways to make $1 million, man.
oh, amen, amen to
Um,
that.
yeah, even with us, you can pick our brains, like really fact check us, make sure we're
Yeah.
not spewing noise,
And
bullish.
take what you want from Glenn, take what you want from me, take what you want from people in the community, or just in even outside of our community, and again, pick and choose what works for you, right?
Yeah,
That's it. Like, we
that's
just
it.
want everyone to succeed. That's it. We're not telling you trade this way. We just know our ways work, but um
That's
through
right.
our own experience, and you will also through your own experience come to that conclusion as well of what works and what doesn't.
Boom.
um
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
speaking of that, like, yeah,
Oh,
like
go.
one book that I just, Glenn and I, we always bring it up. We talk about Market Wizards by Jack D. Schwager. It's one of the best books here that I think anyone could read, or any trader should read, just because this entails is it's interviews by Mr. Schwager with all types of traders who have proven themselves. So they're verified to be, one, real traders, two, to actually have proven that yes, they have returned X amount of percentage and dollars figure amount from the markets, and they're traders who have traded the foreign exchange market, the currencies market, the futures market, all markets that you could think of. And so, like, again, this is just, there's quick versions of it. There's multiple iterations of the market wizards. There's old market wizards. There's new market wizards. So I mean,
Yeah.
uh, any market wizards really, by specifically the author Jack D. Schwager,
Schmicka.
and I believe he's his own trader as well, right, Glenn?
Yeah, I think he does trade in the
He
market.
trades himself.
I'm debating about like leaking out some about the two books because I've read the original Market Wizards and then I read the Unknown Market Wizards, which is the newest book that Jack Schwager came out. And I don't want to spoil the end, but there's a lot of similarities between the traders back in the 80s and the
Oh,
traders in the recent years.
yeah.
Lots of similarities. And they agree with a lot of different things, And so that kind
Yeah.
of just puts in perspective like there's a way to success and there's a way to blow your account.
True.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
Man.
Awesome, dude.
Yeah, on
Right on
that note,
time.
like you like what to wrap it up. You versus you. You gotta write that on the board. That's it. You versus you.
That's it.
But yeah, on that note, I mean, that was a good chat like always. Good chat.
Yeah. Thank you for tuning in, Uncle. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Hopefully we provided value to you, and hopefully it'll um just help you on your journey. I see that you're attempting the FTMO account.
Oh, let's go.
That's awesome. I've used my credit card. Glenn, have you been able to set up an FTMO account with a demo? I mean, a debit card.
Not particularly debit card. No, I have not used a debit card.
Okay,
I don't know.
same here.
Yeah, so like the thing is with the FTMO, it's an international charge. So for example, my when I use my credit card, they put a block on it in the beginning, the first transaction, because it's just out of the ordinary. And so all I had to do was just hit, oh yeah, was this you? Yeah, that was me. So and then I'll go
Okay,
ahead
that's
and
good to know.
recharge it again because yeah, like I said, it's a international pay transacting thing.
Okay,
Uh,
when I tried opening a FTMO account, going live, uh, they didn't accept my debit card twice. It got shut down. So
Yeah.
yeah, try talk to your bank. I think like yeah, they have to like what Glenn was saying. It needs to be like verified that it's you and that it's okay. It's not a what is it called, like hacking or a scam on the card itself.
right. What
Yeah.
if what if I go with Top Step or what that other one?
So
Would
Top
they
Step, I
accept
think
debit?
I'm not sure about debit, but I know Top Step is it's monthly payments with Top Step. It's
Top
not a
Step,
one.
Yeah.
you should be okay because it's Chicago, their mainland company, so they're in the
Right.
country.
Right. Right.
You should be okay.
Okay, My
Yeah. I know
Forex
it's
Funds is another alternative as well. I know they're
uh
in the U.S.
Yeah.
which one?
My Forex Funds. I'll put it in the chat for you
My Forex funds. Okay.
Yeah.
if you're
Yeah,
trading
cause I,
Forex.
I, I was I was ready. I was like, oh, I'm ready to go live, and
Yeah.
I was thinking, wow, the thing wasn't accepting my card. I said, oh
Oh, it's a sign. It's a sign. The market's saying, hold on,
wow.
let's take it slow.
Yeah. It's touchy. As far as FTMO because that like I said they're international and so a lot of the payments they get blocked because they think it's fraud. But yeah, if you're able to like get in touch with the bank and tell them, hey, look, I'm gonna do this charge, and then usually they'll go ahead and put it through. Um, but yeah,
Okay.
I mean, definitely try the other ones too. Uh, Top Step, yeah, they're all good funds. I mean, we've done it all, and
Still
yeah,
doing them.
still doing it. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, it depends on the strategy. I mean, Top Step has a lot of good option alternatives. I'm sure my Forex Funds our own platform or they use MetaTrader.
They use MetaTrader,
Oh, okay,
so you
yeah,
could do FTMO and then right under it,
it's
My
Forex
Forex
Fund.
Funds. Pretty
Oh,
awesome. That and then that's where you want to get like a future topic, but using a third party software and have all your MT4. So when you press one button, it'll enter on all your MT4 accounts.
but You gotta watch.
Oh, that's
You wanna
neat.
over leverage, huh?
Right, right,
Yeah.
right, right,
Well,
right.
no, like 1% off of each account is what I mean.
Yeah, I got you.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll look over that.
Yeah,
Check
let
it
us
out.
know if you have any more
Yeah.
questions.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
Sounds
right.
good.
Sounds
Awesome.
good. Sounds good. I gotta start prepping for my flight tomorrow. Oh, I gotta
Yeah,
check in.
you
Might as well.
should.
Yeah, you.
So Glenn is going to the growth conference. 10. Is it a 10x growth conference? That's what
NX
it's called,
Growth
right?
Con,
Cool, man. Cool.
Miami. They
Ooh,
still.
busy
It,
few days ahead of you.
it was Grant's birthday yesterday, and then he's gonna have a big party on Friday for
Does
everybody.
he always hold it around his birthday?
No, this is
Oh,
kind of
wow.
rare, you know.
Oh, cool.
Instead of going
Yeah,
on
that's gonna be
vacation,
special.
yeah, it's gonna be special. Yeah.
That's a
Wow.
long plane ride to Miami.
So we're
Oh,
flying Houston 7 hours, and then a few more hours to Miami.
it's a good time for some audiobooks and Spotify catch-ups, huh?
Load that sucker up, man.
Yes.
That's a hack. Exactly. If I wish, yeah, I think I should just start buying Wi-Fi in the plane so I could go over the charts.
Yeah. And I mean, it's gotten affordable, right? Like $20 for the whole flight or something like that.
Yeah,
I don't
look,
know. I haven't used
yeah,
it, so I might be
definitely.
talking out my butt, but
Yeah, for sure,
yeah.
for sure. But yeah, guys, you have an awesome
All
night.
right.
We'll
Cheers, brother.
reconvene.
Safe flights, man.
Mahalos. I'll be in touch. See ya.
Cheers. Have a good night.